Jimmy has the word. What's you got going on, Jim?
We got an estimate for our permanent culverts where we remove the bridge on Green Mountain. We're probably looking at between 40 and 45,000. So I guess my question is, do you want me to try to find a way to pay for that out of my budget? Because if we do that with county road fund money, we're looking at a bigger expense because then the project will have to be overseen by an engineer because we're deviating from the original road design. Yeah, it's quite a bit.
These are culverts we're at here.
On Green Mountain.
On that bridge.
Yeah, it was a
Cattle guard.
bridge area. And I had, the county road fund requires a minimum of a 15-year storm event on board. And I had them calculate for a 25-year and a 50-year, not a super big difference between the two.
You need two of them.
Yeah, and 2 footers.
And both of them be that 40 to 45 together.
No, it's total. Total, yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah.
What do you got?
And they're,
I have.
we've got them fairly long.
It's a new book
Plan
here.
on putting 75 footers
Oh, I don't
in
know.
there.
This one.
Yeah, and it's a sharp curve there, and I know the landowner there has kind of complained about how sharp it is, and if we make the pipes longer, we can build the shoulder out
Take it.
wider and make
Use it.
that corner
Get rid
more
of it.
gradual.
Yeah.
I mean, that does have some cost to it, but I think that's what we're doing.
It's a good project.
We can make a nice build shoulder. This is something that was off of it.
Or you go, how you gonna be on field there?
I think we'll be fine.
Is Becky's?
Landowner
working with
agreeable to let us see that.
Stretches that field.
Yeah,
Paper cut.
I think he was pretty happy.
Mr. Chair, what size were those culverts?
8 footers,
And 2 of them?
75 foot in length.
Am I supposed to be looking for?
I don't know.
That goes back to Becky.
Oh,
Thanks for taking a moment to look at it. We'd like to welcome you to the 2025 budget.
I wonder why you didn't hand it to me. I got my own. Blame you guys for putting me here.
We'll get along.
So you're thinking if we do this outside of that money to pay for these culverts and we don't have to go down the road.
Yeah. Theoretically, I could swing it on my budget. Maybe it would feed up my whole account for that. Just keep in mind, or the market have to have some cattle or grades filled. Who knows what'll come up and say.
Well, we can cross that bridge when it comes to it. I
Right.
mean, in the big picture,
Literally.
it'll save us money.
Yeah, I don't really see the need to turn this into a county road fund project. It adds a lot of expense, I think, needlessly.
Yeah. It's your turn.
Yes, sir.
I move to take the funds out. What's the official title you're going to call this?
Or Green Mountain Bridge culvert.
Did you catch that there?
What'd you say?
Green Mountain.
Bridge to culvert.
Get closer. Expenditure out of the travel fund.
Weston County Ranch Shed.
So is that going to be common from here on out?
Yes.
That was the motion, correct? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I think that's good use of that line item. All those in favor of the motion on the table to replace culverts and the Green Mountain Road, or replace the bridge with culverts at Green Mountain Road out of the tribal funds, correct? Please say aye.
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 Opposed? All right.
Gotta go read, I got more bad news, so I've got to grab the engine and a blade.
You took this.
You did. That was very clever how you did that.
I think
Sure
they
we did.
need your
Sure
right.
this one.
I hear it, you're on the phone.
It's
How old is this blade?
It's 2005 or 6, I don't remember, it's got 13,000 hours on it.
So it's different. She's got an older one.
So like, you can kind of see our options on there. Another, we're looking, you know, if we put a replacement engine in, the cheapest option is to get a motor going to the shop in there and puts it in, and that's around 35,000. If it's something we think maybe we're gonna get rid of in the near future, we could put a head on it and run it and get rid of it. Now, you know, got to be under 10,000 on that.
Is the compression good on the cylinders?
I'm not sure here.
If it's just the valve guides, it might be worth a head. Or some head work.
Mr. Chairman. So what kind of light you looking at? That's not a good sign.
Yeah, and that was something else I was gonna suggest, if, you know, the thought was to put a motor in it. RDO can send somebody over and they can do a full mechanical inspection on that light. And they can tell you everything that needs replaced or will be replaced in the near future. I know that if that light has issues, you know, I want to put $60-$70 in some piece of junk.
So this is when you're gonna replace anyway,
Yep.
just not so soon.
Is it next in your line of?
You know, it is now, for sure.
Mr. Chairman, that's why we have a depreciation reserve.
Is your mechanic have time to do it? Would that be putting everything else in the bind?
It'd be something you kind of, you work on it as a next time, you know.
Are you looking at the line item or the
There's some
budget?
in the line item.
I don't have a budget, so what's in the line item? I'm gonna miss not having a budget.
Here, you just hold on to this.
Thank you so much.
94,000, or is it less than that? This is an old one.
What number is that?
There's 94,000.
20's account, 126.
Mr. Chairman, is this just to put a Band-Aid on it?
Oh, that's the question. I don't know. What do you do if you have to park it? I mean, are you?
Yeah.
As it says.
I mean, do you have blades right now for everybody to fill a seat?
Yeah, you know, you're kind of, we end up getting a bunch of snow, you know, I just want short, but right now I have a light bill full-time, I have to done. If we don't have any snow.
I've got a tremendous amount of hours on it. I don't know. You're the resident guru of equipment. What do you think?
I don't know. On the RDO side of it, do they have any warranty on, I'm just trying to weigh up the difference between, the labor side of RDOs versus ours. For our chemicals. And obviously there's a saving if we do it in-house on an engine replacement. The rebuilding of the head is probably with 13,000 hours on that, that probably is a Band-Aid. Be looking to be getting
And
rid
that
of that.
was kind of an easy suggestion, we said if not hours on that motor, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but
Mechanically, the rest of the blade in good shape.
I would say no. I mean, the front end has problems. That was my thought, maybe have RDO come over and do a full inspection on it, if we're looking at another 30,000 repairs on it.
It might be have them come over and get an inspection on it before we start dumping money into it, because we may be further ahead biting the bullet, you know.
What's it worth outright without, I mean, in the shape it's in, it's not worth much, right? And then,
I would guess basically scrap iron prices with the county motor, they might give us 5,000 with the motor, probably give us what we put in it.
curious to see what they,
Just like us.
yeah.
How soon can RDO come over and give an inspection of the whole machine? Interesting, just to see if the rest of the machines, you know, it might not even be worth messing with even.
Yeah, not gonna recoup our losses.
No. Just whichever's gonna be the most, least painful to get out of it, you know.
Why don't you just go get some bids?
Skip the inspection.
I'm not so much of, I mean, I don't mind the inspection, but I'm getting tired of the Band-Aid thing. And if it's dire need that we need it because Mother Nature's going to come through here and you're going to be, but what I'm gathering from you is we'll survive. I mean, if we were down to 1 or 2 or whatever and we needed to patch it up because we're going to get 12 feet of snow, I'm not asking for that. I'm just, because that's the way the world works. But that's my feeling. It's just see what we can get for a trade-in, and if scrap metal or whatever, and get a good bid out there, and we'll put it through our budget process, and because there's some things here. I mean, if we're going to take it out of reserves, we're going to have a budget adjustment and all those things, and so there's some time involved. But if we have that on the table to be able to move it quickly if you need it, but my indication is that you'll get through.
Yeah, worst comes to worst, we could raise money to get us through the winter if we had to.
And Mr. Chairman, I mean, there was a timetable, and if this is the one that was starting to, that, is on the list of your life is almost over anyway, then that's why we had the list.
Yeah. Was it the next one in line to be retired?
That or that other D, they're both.
They're both. So it was, its life expectancy was coming to the end anyway.
Yeah.
In our time frame, so.
And we expected that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what we do. That's why we tuck the money away. That's why the argument is made at every budget that we're going to take whatever surplus there is and put it into depreciation reserves for these moments. And that's it. I mean, we pulling the trigger because it's an emergency all the time. That's not how we should. So it's on the list. Let's go through the process.
Is there any value in keeping it around instead of getting $5,000 for it to use on that other blade, and then or could you, and then when you go to trade that other one in, try to get rid of both of them?
People want some crazy stuff, and we always used to dream about it, and now that it's here, people are scared of it. Self-driving cars, electric vehicle. We've been seeing that stuff on TV for how long, hoverboards, and we get upset that we don't have the hoverboards and stuff, but the technology we do have that was in those same shows, we shun it, and we are scared of it, and we don't want to embrace it. And I think every one of us that was sitting around in the 80s and 90s watching those TV shows would be very mad at ourselves as adults now if we weren't taking advantage of all the cool stuff little kids us wanted to play with. So
yeah, you could say we live in a scary time, but I think we live in an exciting. I cannot believe that in my lifetime this is happening. I mean, it is absolutely crazy. And you're right. I spent years saying, man, I wish I had a personal assistant.
Scavenge a part or two off of it.
I guess I'm curious to see what they offer to create value. We might do better just doing an auctioning it off. You know,
Good point too.
There's some of these, I've seen some junk blades sell for way good money.
You know, somebody that's find it, we can sell it and just buy it on it.
Currently, it is running, right? It's just
Yeah.
consuming oil, so it's a plus. On the auction side of it.
Are you throwing more bad news? Should I?
Well, we don't know. I
Yeah,
guess.
hold on a little tighter here.
As far as Kenwood Drive goes, looking at our easements for the section that is established, they say if we establish the section that runs through the state ground, then those easements are null and void. So I've discussed this with Mike. Do we want to just establish the state section that we know we're good on, worry about the rest of that later, or do we want to try to get all this figured out at one time? I've only found, unless they're in here, and I think I looked in the file in here the day I was up here, I've only found easements for 2 lots up there, lots 6 and 16. You know, I would assume they've done for all those lots where they're at. I don't know, they're not in the file that I have. And we don't have, you know, the landowner that we have the easements from no longer owns any of that. So we would be starting completely over with new landowners.
Aren't they recorded in the actual books?
I don't know.
Some of them back then got recorded in the actual books.
How much county road fund money do you anticipate using on that road? Don't know. What I'm saying is it's public road. The argument we get into is when we run through those state and we have to sign those forms. The other thing we had, and I talked to Marty yesterday, and it's hard in a commercial environment when there's people coming in and we don't get real deep with conversations as we probably should. But her idea was that we just move along with the RIP. Well, by the time with the next section of those RIPs, I mean, we didn't do number 3 because of Keaton Road, but it seems silly to do that one next section of, not section, but the strip there because it's Cheyenne River Road, it's Bruce Road. There's a few weird ones of that. But it would be interesting if we could go to the effort of going to the Painted Hills Kenwood and go through that RIP process with that. What else would be in there? Morrissey Road? That's already done, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I mean, that'd be interesting for to study that, to see if we can go through that process with that and allow the public hearing and all that issue with that. It's a hairy one. I mean, we were trying to learn with the really easy ones. This one would be an ugly one, but it might be worth our time. Just because of those issues that we have with that weird.
Yeah,
It's weird.
yeah, it is.
But what I'd say is if we can't get down, okay, I'm gonna use a pun and I apologize. But if we can't go down that road with that kind of money, with state money, we just skip it. And we use county road, we use our road money for it, which comes out of the diesel tax, and we use it for that road.
Yeah, but you know, I think our main expenses going forward would be our CMAQ match.
Yeah, so we just do that. Well, but if you're using CMAQ, you probably have to follow the rules of.
I mean, we could use our own funds. Well, yeah. you're right.
We'd still have to have
Yeah,
the
that's
easements.
still- yeah, we would.
So what I'm saying is, we may have to stretch that out and say, well, the county's going to pay for this portion of the putting mag chloride on there. I mean, do the whole thing for this portion. Because I think 3 parts of that are established.
Yeah, that's where it gets weird.
That's where it gets weird.
The easements for the one section stipulate that if we establish the section that is not established, then those easements are null and void. I don't know 100% on that.
That was dumb. Or be it for me to know what the reasons.
So actually, I really wouldn't be giving up the establishment on the largest. As opposed to my easements.
I see, we don't want to do that. Think about that.
And why not just go through the process of establishment on our own with a public comment period?
The question I want to ask is, yeah, would we lose it because of that, whatever agreement we have?
I wouldn't think so.
I
You're
think
wrong, but I don't think you would. I mean, it's already a public road, right? And you take public comment from anybody associated with that, and I would assume that that's their opportunity to speak their piece.
What are the legalities of contacting the person that gave us the original easement and asking them about that provision, right? Is that even possible?
They don't own it anymore.
No. I mean, is that?
Yeah, but does that null and void, that kind of thing?
You started over?
I mean, if you sign the deed and all easements, prior easements are in effect or whatever that terminology
I
is.
think that, doesn't the easement itself say it doesn't run with the land? If I remember right.
I don't remember.
I think it specifically said that in there.
Oh, well then you're toast.
Yeah. It's the weirdest thing it ranks up there.
That's what's okay.
Weird property transactions.
I guess that's where we're at.
I still think we'd be able to establish it though, through that process.
I don't know what that means. You know, I don't know if you have something that says,
I mean, the county's been using it for how many years? I think you got,
86.
I've read those, but it's been several years ago, but I mean, there was a lot of different caveats to help you in the event of that being a public used road to finally establish it as a public used road as a county commission to benefit the public as good, but for the good of the public, I don't know that some contract written up 30 or 40 years ago, whatever, that the landowner doesn't even have it anymore, and it's been used and maintained by us.
Yeah, I think you can try that public establishment. I mean, there's various legal possibilities too. You don't want to have to go to lawsuits or anything like that. But I think the way it's been used and in the course of conduct, I would feel comfortable with the limited liability on that.
We got to look into that and maybe revisit it the next meeting.
I would ask for that, Mr. Chairman, only because we went through Upton Fairview for 25 years. One easement. If it would have been that easy, it would have been done. Because that had so many families on it, and we could have used, at one time we could have gone all the way to go get certain grants for that road, and because there was that one right in the middle, and you're not allowed, even in county road fund, you're not allowed to piecemeal stuff. And we never could use any money on that. And that was a long road. How many miles is up to Fairview? Too long.
20-some miles.
Yeah, too long. That would have been a big one that we would have just called that one a day. And I even know that we could go back and look, and we even asked for eminent domain, and it just never happened. And by the time the air got there, I mean, it was museum. But, she signed off with no issue whatsoever, and that the road was all better again. So I don't know what the legalities are, but those two county attorneys prior then said.
I think we should revisit the statute and see what it says, I guess. Maybe a phone call to, what's the fellow in Sweetwater County? Yeah, Ligursky. I mean, he's pretty knowledgeable on that stuff. When I asked him about our road issues here in Weston County, he says, it's everywhere. It's rampant across the state. This issue sits everywhere, and so sometimes it's better to do it and shut up, you know. And
Well,
that's coming from a guy sitting
on the county road standard.
Yeah. So, but he also had a lot of, you know, once it was brought forward that there was an issue, he had some ideas of ways to circumnavigate a way to fix some of those issues. But I don't know.
I don't know.
And that's not the only one. There's a number of them, right?
We've got some issues with.
Well, I think we can rip some of it.
You need to add Nestor's Road to that.
Who's road?
Nestor's Road needs added to it, right?
Supposedly have a portion of South Creek. It's not a established portion of the Lady but it's all over. And we discussed some of them aren't, they're supposed to be there out of there.
Well, they're out of their boundaries.
Wait, and that's right in there.
Yeah, I had that whole business. So.
I got it.
Example, I gave a task order, Kenny sent me for the hydraulic in Green Mountain. I guess the agreement was a little confusing, maybe. My understanding is me and Kenny are on the same page as this, because we would be operating off of these task orders. We're basically just agreeing to use them when we need engineering services. And basically get us on your customer list.
Pay to play.
Yeah, you know, I told him I was a little concerned with the, having to use so many hours per month, because basically that's a waste of their time and our money. So he told me they were going to, delete that provision out of it. And basically, they'll provide services on an as-needed basis and bill us for time and materials. So this is what he did for Green Mountain, and it's my understanding this is what we would be doing all the time. I would call him, tell him what I need. He would send me, kind of an overview of what they're going to do and what we're looking at price-wise.
So, Mr. Chairman, we're skipping this.
What's that?
We're skipping this.
Yeah, I don't think you guys actually need to sign that. I think
Not
it's
the one that Marty brought up for the chairman's signature on it.
Yeah, this is the one that we were having a couple issues with. So if it's pay to play, I'm probably more comfortable than, because we were tripping over a little bit of language in here.
I didn't think it'd make a lot of sense to agree to so many hours per month unless we could bank that, toward a
Yeah,
project.
we could
'Cause then
bank.
you're looking for frivolous things and you're basically wasting money,
And Mr. Chairman, that was kind of our thing, is then are you going to start shifting the language a little bit to say, well, the fees will kind of come out of your hours. And then when we really need somebody, well, you're kind of out of hours. Well,
Looks to me like this supersedes that. This is what they're gonna do for us.
Yeah,
all right.
yes, I've seen that before.
Yeah. So did you set the not to exceed a 4,200 limit?
That's something to put in there. And it did exceed it because I requested, that they do a calculation. So I did exceed that in my request.
So in here, he's got fees, so the scope of services described herein, and this is, the scope of work for this task order is limited to design storm hydrology, peak runoff determination, and culvert sizing for a CMP with flared end sections for the one specific culvert located on Green Mountain Road. So in the fees description, it says the scope of services described herein will be completed on a time and materials basis The fee for the engineering services described above will be billed on a not to exceed basis with a limit of $4,200 without prior written approval. And the fees will be billed monthly on rates shown on the current standard rate schedule that I assume that's in the back of that. I don't know where the 4,200 comes from. I think that's the number he came up with. Based
Yeah, I
on,
like that, because, we know we're not gonna exceed that much. And if it's less, time and material's less, they don't bill us for that, but we're not gonna get hit by a $20,000 bill at the end of the project. Oh, you owe us another $16,000 for that.
Right. More than likely, you'd be losing for it.
Yeah.
Be come out of the county road funds, so you guys would see it before.
Before everything.
Yes.
So what, Mr. Chairman, what does it mean, if you'll read it again, that says a monthly charge of? What does that mean?
fees will be billed monthly based on their rates on that sheet.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But what does that mean, billed monthly as? As if the project took 6 months, will be billed as,
Yeah.
okay,
We'll get 6 bills.
okay,
That's how they did it with the hydrology study. We had several different bills on it. So.
okay.
So the task order number 3 of master agreement between Weston County and Engineering Associates. So that must be the master agreement. And this is how it's being, or it's how it's being described.
See master agreement here. Yes, it is. Task order number 1 of master agreement. So where's number 2?
Did you have them do some other engineering work?
No, I got to do this. So that's agreement.
And that one is signed, the original signature on it.
The non-ours signature.
Right.
This is just a. This looks like a contract.
This isn't the actual contract. Maybe that's
It might be it.
But I thought it was, I thought that was what I needed
Yeah, I
to
think
put
that
on the
one
agenda.
has-
because we have a separate contract that we had. It looks like it's longer. We changed those provisions we talked about.
Oh, is that what this is? Why?
Looks like it's just an attachment.
That's what Margie put on my desk and said needed to be signed by the board. The original.
Should have looked at it closer. But yeah, this is not the whole contract.
For the love of Pete.
I will. Seems okay, right? Very well, I know.
You wanna look at that?
Should have been two separate. Yeah, this isn't what you originally looked at. I should have done there's more to it.
Might clear up a little more gray area.
Gray area. Please.
Last I recall, we were working towards no set fee, and Kenny was okay with that. And we were just gonna work on an as-needed basis.
Yeah, Michael had some concerns with the original language in the monthly contract, and we did change that.
And that must be their fee schedule for their hourly work. But I don't know.
Yeah, this date on this coincides with that. Yeah.
Yeah, attachment fees go with the agenda.
So is Kenny asking us to sign anything?
I didn't think so, no, but basically it's something you guys either can review, and if you go on the individual task orders, you guys would obviously have to put in before we did, and then I sign the task orders.
I mean,
If we want to revisit this, I think.
basically, we've elicited his services, but we're not having to pay him a guaranteed fee
Yeah,
pay them a
they
guaranteed
removed the
fee,
retainer language.
which is kind of what we were looking for, right? I think that's
Yeah.
exactly what we were looking for.
'Cause the way this one reads, we would be paying a monthly retainer basically for 10 hours of work.
Yeah, see,
Right,
that's how
what
we
we
read
wanna
it.
get away
That's
from.
what they originally proposed, it's gonna be 1,800.
Yeah, so we don't want
Oh, this is the big boy.
Because we didn't want to do the monthly retainer.
3 years. As it is needed.
Did you ask him to create that task order? That number 3?
The one that's probably the latest. Yeah, that was the original one we looked at, Mike had issues with it. So then he went in.
Okay, so that's what he's doing, he's updating the hourly rates.
Updated, sent it
So that's
back.
what he did on the one.
Whatever reason, didn't make it.
It appears to me like this was his original proposition, and it's changed to the front page of that one. But I could be wrong.
I think the one that's on there would be a little more legal language.
This is a little more,
Contract.
this is contract issues.
This is more contracting.
Yeah. I'm trying to speed read. And somebody touched my glasses, so there's a little blur thing going on.
Does this have to be signed today?
Doesn't sound look like it has to be
No, I
signed.
don't
If
think
we have anything needs to be signed.
So, in your quick knowledge, do you see anything about it saying there's a monthly fee involved
I don't remember seeing that. That's why I was confused.
on the other one? So would that other one be a consideration of, that's what they said on the one, is that it was January 1st they would change? And so this is the agreement that
Yeah, that's
that
all
they're
right.
going to change, and
Yeah.
it might be. I'm not for the 10 hours being billed. So if that's if this states that they can change it January 1st, it's 3 years.
It says,
If I remember correctly, what changes January 1st is their fee schedule.
Right, and so that's what that is.
Well, their hourly rates as to what, their job.
But I think, Jimmy, what we're saying is that it says there's a fee schedule in there,
Yeah.
and then there's
a.
Yeah.
attached to it, but there's kind of an indication of the monthly deal.
Yeah, this one here said there's a month, there's like a retainer, but there's no dollar amount for retainer
Right.
anywhere in it.
So it's weird language to us. We don't know what we're. This should have been changed too. We never do 30 days. I understand that though.
yeah.
That task order 3, you needed that for your geology or your hydrology study,
Yeah, that was
right?
just
And it's
Yeah, I
done.
get all
the
that.
job order for one
So-
particular job.
Could you call
That was
Kenny
the
when
biggest
you
problem.
get done,
That
just
is
ask him and
All
say,
this stuff was all messed up.
is this the format that we're operating on, this task order
supposed to
3?
be okay?
Is it just pay to plus vacation
Or is this the one?
based
Let
off
me
of
just
your
make
fee
sure.
schedule?
Oh, right. Yeah, that was.
I think he needs that back.
That's, seems to me that's what's going on.
The paperwork, so
The one that doesn't have a number on it is the one that was on my desk when I got back from
This one right here.
vacation. that
Jimmy
Marty
needs
said I
that.
needed to give to the board.
That's the,
Well, the one on Michael's computer is it's the master plan.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the right one. I didn't think about the 30-day thing, so.
Okay. You gotta know. Quit the thinking.
There's gonna call Kenny. And
Okay.
visit with him.
Not to be a pain, we just don't want to.
No, I understand that.
Something grumped me out, just bring something across this table.
That's what you make it.
Yeah, basically, just the nuts and bolts of it. There's no monthly fee. We're working off the fee schedule dated January 1st, 2025. And if we need their services, they are open to us coming to them with their services. Yeah.
Every job would be the same as what I'm sure you say.
If that's what it is, I'm 100% okay with it.
I'm okay with it if that's where we are.
Thank you, sir. Sorry.
Hi, James.
Thank you.
Keep that in horse to life.
Way behind. All right. Sorry, folks.
I think the fee schedule, when you type something that they didn't change it, like they changed it in the original.
Well, it says it'll change it every January 1st. We'll submit a new one.
The fee schedule.
The fee schedule, and that's fine. I don't mind that. I
It's
think
over
they're supposed to be in the.
Sheriff, have to leave.
Yeah.
He's back.
He's back.
I just have a question. Well, we have a question for him after. So we got a Title 25.
Okay.
Guy was arrested in Crook County. Why was he brought to Weston County? You know,
No
any
idea.
idea?
Unless he was arrested on our warrant. No, if he was arrested.
Sounds like it was a wreck and he was, well, he may not have been arrested.
Makes sense.
It was a wreck
Yeah.
and he was hauled to Crook County, or to Weston counties.
Oh, he was hauled.
Wreck-
So he was in a
wrecked
wreck in Crook County.
Wrecked.
Ambulance
Brought
to Weston County. That would be why they should have 25 in Weston County.
Well, why would he haul here and not Crook County?
That's the ambulance driver. That's something I don't have control over.
Wonder if the ambulance here is the one that got up there first. That's why they hauled him.
Well, and there's always a possibility Crook County could provide the level of care that Weston County can provide. Those ambulance, those EMTs know that. So,
Can they provide the Title 25 payment?
no. He was Title, I imagine the one you're talking about was Title 25 by a medical professional, not a law enforcement officer.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
911 call could have came into our dispatch and then they dispatched our
I
ambulance.
think this wreck was in Crook County. I think I know which one they're talking about. He was delivered to Weston County, probably, not speaking for the ambulance service, but they believed that Weston County could provide the level of care he needed while he was in the hospital, a medical professional, Title 25.
No, I understand that. It's irritating. Just happened in Crook County and we're stuck with the Title 25 bill.
It's not the first time that's happened. But
Really?
Let me ask a further question. So are we inferring that the Sundance Hospital doesn't have the capability of
I
calling?
didn't say that. What I'm saying
No, I'm
is you have to talk to the medical expert or the ambulance driver, but there is the chance that Weston County can provide whatever it might be they needed that maybe Sundance doesn't have. You know, I don't know what
Yeah,
that would be.
I'm just, it just would seem interesting to me that Sundance wouldn't be able to call it Title 25.
I don't think they Title 25. So if he was in an
Oh, I see
accident,
what you're saying, if he was injured.
in an accident, with no mental health issues that they know of, he's delivered to Weston County Health Services, he's going through treatment or whatever, and somebody there, medical professional, decided, oh, this guy's whatever, you know, trying to kill himself, whatever. That would have been right there in Weston County Health Services.
He was brought to Weston County for medical treatment.
For medical treatment.
Then Title 25.
Okay. My
I do not believe under any circumstance was he Title 25 in Crook County.
Instantly. Okay, I see what you're saying. That's, okay. That was mine.
And that's not the first time that's happened. There's times, and these folks probably speak to that we get a wreck that's in Crook County, and if it's like, let's say 585,
Right.
sometimes depending on the level of damage, I think Weston County can do different treatments or maybe have better, more capable for whatever that injury is than another hospital. I've seen that with Lusk. We've been clear down in Niobrara County, and the ambulance will drive them all the way up here.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And we try to do, nowadays, we try to do the helicopter, no matter where they're at, because we can go straight to the helicopter and then they can determine that. That's not always the case.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. It was a weird,
That's a good clarification.
and that's very good clarification because
We just thought he was Title 25 here. We
If
didn't
it's
know
the
that.
one I'm thinking of, he was involved in a wreck.
Yeah.
He was ambulanced to Weston County Health Services. A doctor there or a medical professional there said, "Oh, by the way, this guy needs to be Title 25."
Yeah, but his initial was
That's
medical.
crazy. We picked it up all of Sunday.
great.
Nice.
You want to sit down?
Yep.
You have him?
He's working on it. He's got a job description.
So the next crazy we picked up was driving up to Sunday. Hey, that's right.
It's on the record. Let it be known. That's why I asked the hospital.
I think they know now what they can touch.
I will come meet you.
He's got to take care of. He's got to take care of that issue real quick.
So,
So we just gotta review these job descriptions.
So, Mr. Chairman, I brought up the idea behind the job descriptions. We need to update them every now and then anyway. One of the issues that I had was concerning on the maintenance. I don't know if we have one.
No.
And so I think it's imperative that we do have a job description, so that we have something to fall back on instead of this interesting little, like, this little contract thing. Do what you want to do, and if it falls with under, I don't know what this little contract is. But I'd like us to work on a job description, and perhaps we have our maintenance person help us with some where we go, where we don't go. I get the fact of somebody pushes back in a department and says you'll do this. And then we bull up and say, well, I don't do that, and now all of a sudden we don't do it because we don't like somebody telling us. So I'd like us to lay that out and where that goes, and have a better job description of what it is that job entails. And so I'd like us to take some time, whether a workshop or whatever, an hour or something, to have that. The reason, Gilbert, I brought yours up is also another opportunity for us to review. But one of the issues I need to know in that job description is where the next, because the times that you take off to go, like in this instance, to Washington State, we had issues here too. We had some funny things going.
Yep.
And in your job description, it would be nice if we had some idea, or we had another job description of where that went to. My problem that I have, I don't read in here that when you leave, I mean, it's an interesting, are we supposed to pay you while you leave to go to these other places, Louisiana, and to?
I'll let the sheriff answer that part, but, so in our continued, in the county operations plan,
Okay,
it has everything lined out for when I'm gone. And in the COOP plan for my office, it actually lines out who takes charge after me, which is the sheriff, and after him, it actually has Daniel Tisdale and Austin Baker,
okay,
who are also fully capable of doing what I can do. I also take my phone. I was in contact with the sheriff during all that and sent him instructions from the state. Saying if there was any certain amount of damages that may come to a certain price, to send pictures and let them know. He was in contact with me during that whole time. Also, they're well aware that I'm only a volunteer, and if I need to back home, I catch the first flight home. So, there's and they're well aware of that. So, but I have all that covered within the continuing operations plan and the emergency management's continuing operations plan of what to do and how to handle things through that while I'm absent. So
I guess one of my questions is, do you take vacation for that?
So usually Brian pays my wages because he considers that training. It's training. Because it's like, and the way he explains it, and I wish he was here to explain it because this is how he explains it to everyone who questions him on this, is he can send somebody to Reno for $2,000 or $1,000 and have to pay for their food, motel, and all that stuff and travel. And for me, he doesn't have to pay, and plus their wages. And for me, all he pays is wages because everything else for me is covered. And I bring back all that training knowledge and real life experience on a real life disaster. And it's actually in my job description.
It is?
Yep.
This one?
And the new one.
What's this?
That's an old one.
That I
okay.
have.
Oh, so we don't have a new one?
This is the new one.
No, we don't.
I read it. I
Send it,
saw
email
it.
it. I couldn't get a print to print off it.
I'll print it.
To be able to
Have it in yours.
deploy
And I gave,
Yeah, I just couldn't get it printed off.
and bring back that knowledge and skill
Fair enough.
to the other departments. Because I learn, like this last one, it's probably my best deployment ever. Things that I wouldn't think about here. And things like putting Narcan in shelters and things, just different aspects of running shelters. I ran 8 different counties while I was out there, and which I bring back all that knowledge and that skill for real disaster. So if we have something here, that just betters my knowledge and my skill for the communities and the people here. So it's free training.
You haven't seen this one, Mary?
Actually, it's not free.
Well,
I
just
feel like it's not free.
yeah, but it's better than paying. Send me to the EMI Institute in Maryland and paying for the flight and all that, like other counties have done.
So it'd be cool if we could have you have an appointment on the agenda to give us an update of what you learned. That'd be
Oh,
cool.
absolutely! I'd love to do that. And
I
I
would
would still
like
like
that.
to do that training, and also in that job description, most of that is state required. What the state says the emergency management job is, and they will actually are willing to come and do an hour presentation on the whole thing if that would be something that
That'd be appreciated.
if you
And
guys are willing to do.
not necessarily for just this board, but these do go on.
Yeah.
YouTube, and it'd be nice if the
Absolutely.
public wanted to see and have that.
Yeah.
That'd be nice for us to have, because then we don't run into these issues of where's Gilbert?
Yeah.
We have a vehicle spill. Where's Gilbert?
Yeah.
Or where's? I'm going to stop it, and I apologize. Where's our emergency manager?
Yeah. And I've gotten phone calls when I was in LA. I got a phone call, and I'll guide them, and I always take that phone with me. But between sheriff and Daniel and all of our other department heads, we've worked through that and we've talked through that, and it's built into our plans.
So bring those to us, so that we don't, when we get fielded those questions,
Okay.
we can step back.
Okay. So the county operations plan we just went through, and then we'll go through that other COOP plan together when we start, because that's the next update when we start.
Perfect.
So we'll work on that together, and
Perfect.
And that will be part of that.
Sounds good.
So if you have,
And I read this. I like it.
I do
think
too.
It's pretty good.
it's probably the most detailed and comprehensive out of any others in the
Way
county.
better.
A lot of the others you look at, they're just bullet points.
Yep.
And that one actually has what the state, it's built in. It actually gives you a lot more detail.
Yeah, this one's way better.
In that one there too, we left everything in there that the one you guys had signed off on when you had that under you as well. There's some things that wouldn't have been in there, but we left those in there. Because at that time, it appeared you wanted them in there. So,
This whole one.
The old one?
Yeah.
Well, I still think maybe it'd be appropriate to have some type of review. But I do like the new one, or the one we have now.
Good. And
So
I
thank
will,
you for bringing that forward, but if you would take that time to just give us a 30-minute over, or 15-minute overview, that'd be awesome.
of what I've learned.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And if you would give me a date of when you would like the state to come in and do their presentation, I can schedule that.
Anytime.
Pick one of our afternoons.
On the second meeting.
Yeah, and let Becky know.
All right, we'll do.
And same with your other.
Mornings
thank
on
you.
the first meeting, that's what you said.
Right.
Okay.
8:30.
And that actually will cover the commissioner's responsibility part too.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you much.
Thanks, Gilbert.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And thank you, Brian. Thank you. What'd you say?
Is that for the sheriff's office? Where's everything?
No, that was just
Just we talked to Brandon or
Brandon Caravan.
Mona.
Good luck.
So I think what we, Mr. Chairman, I think we just like to sit down and get a little more precise view of what your job is. And because please tell me that there's not a surprise job description for this one. Is there?
No,
That's all I have is that?
there is no job description.
So we'd like to sit down and have a job description. So if we can schedule that and work those details out, and just because it gets to a point where that's not my job, and if there's one thing I can't stand is someone saying
It's not that it's not my job, it's not my budget, and you're asking me to spend money out of people's budgets.
So I would say at the next meeting, what I would expect is what's going on in your life here at Weston County that is to help guide us in an actual good job
Absolutely.
description for you.
That's what we're after.
And then we see, if you have issues with something, we need to know that so that we can decide where that needs to be delegated to. And preferably, maybe even the next meeting, if we could, towards the afternoon. Let's hammer that out because you need guidance, and I didn't realize this is all we had.
Yeah, it's a guessing game is what I do.
Yeah, I get it, and that's not good.
That's not
good.
And it has been for 3 years, but I've worked it out.
So
we want to be part of the process
Gotcha.
too.
Yeah. So when somebody asks you to change out their toilet paper in some other public office, I think that's great that you have the opportunity to say, "Not my job."
Well, it's not the fact that it's not my job. I don't feel comfortable. Okay, so doing it here, it's fine. I see what they need, what's needed, and I just give the bill to Becky. She deals with the budgeting.
Yeah.
Okay, but now I don't order for the library. I don't order for the jail. I don't order for the annex right now. Stephanie's doing that because she's there every day, knows what they're using, knows what they need. Public health, I've never ordered for them the entire time I've been here. Steve didn't order for them. Carmen's been doing that the whole time. So then all of a sudden somebody came to me and said, hey, you need to start ordering for them. I'm like, okay, but then how do I approach this? They don't have the same paper towel dispensers that we use here. They don't have the Hilliard ones. So then do I redesign their whole building around Hilliard to get their orders in with our orders? Or
So that's exactly.
and it's their budget, so
So let's discuss that, and maybe that is something we need to do. Do we need to get everybody on the same page in the county to where you've got the same?
And that made me think, shouldn't that stuff be coming out of building and grounds?
That's
And
part of
not
the
even being in
a budget.
the annex's budget, public health's budget?
yeah, if it came out of one place, that's easy. Yeah, I'm more than willing to order for everybody. I don't care. Just tell me what you need. I'll order. I'll deliver even. It's when it's coming out of other people's budgets and then you're telling me to put my fingers in their budget and I don't know exactly what they have left, what it's going to cost to order, what their supplies are.
Fair enough.
It's a pretty convoluted mess.
You understand we're really happy with you. Okay. And you got thrown into a job with no job description. So yes, you have been having to work this out yourself, and you've done a great job. So now we're counting on you to help us by writing down what you do and what you think you should be doing, or what should be changed to make it better. And you know, I know the first time you needed to take a day off, you didn't know who to call. You didn't know. I mean, that's our bad, as far as I'm concerned. That puts you in a really difficult position. So now we're asking you to help us get a good job description for your job and what you do and how we can make it better. And this whole supply thing, you might.
Well,
it's a secondary thing, but you can help us on that.
It would make more sense, like in any other businesses, usually it's the office administrator that does the ordering for the office supplies. I wouldn't see why that would be anything different in a county. Like Carmen does their ordering because she's their office administrator. She knows what they need, what they go through. Maintenance to me seems like I would be in charge of maintaining the buildings and the grounds. Each department would be their own renter within that building and grounds. That's their budget, their stuff to deal with. If you want me to do it, that's fine. I can figure it out. It just doesn't make a lot of sense that your maintenance guy is ordering your office supplies and your bathroom supplies. It really doesn't. It doesn't happen anywhere else, any other business. I don't know why we would reinvent the wheel at the county.
And that seems like a secondary thing to what we're talking about. But an important thing that we need to discuss, I think. And maybe we need to look at that completely different. But
I guess for the sheriff's office, I would agree that is something that we've struggled with too. Is who do we do it? Do we call Brandon? And then next thing you know, you got two different people trying to do one thing, and he's got his contract, and we're using somebody else. So we've had that issue for years. Is what's our responsibility for that building? What's the county's maintenance guy's responsibility for what? Do we do this, or is that fall?
And each building seems a little different because the libraries ran different, the sheriff's office ran different, then public health, then here. I mean,
we beat this horse all the time with the fairgrounds. So,
but I think you're right. That it would be nice to get those entities together and kind of have a full discussion on what we think qualifies for that particular.
Well, Mr. Chairman, just if we had a policy, and so we don't have this back and forth of.
No, it would be nice to know exactly what I should be doing.
Right, and not having you have to make the decision of it's not my job. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then once again, it's just like Gilbert's. It comes back on us, and we're like, I don't have anything to base it on. So it's a gut check of everybody. So if we can sit down with you, that'd be awesome.
More than willing.
If we could arrange that.
And we just kind of threw you through one of those with the furnace over at the jail. It was. I mean, that's a perfect example of who takes charge and moves forward with it. And that was a perfect example right there. It was kind of like, well, it's kind of out in limbo. So, and that's what we want to get away from.
So it wasn't meant to be a scare tactic. It was just trying to make this get us more efficient and more efficient for you.
Anything else?
Brandon, we're really sorry about your fire.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Well, we're really sorry.
Thanks.
I hope it goes well.
Just took my chainsaw out of the work truck, put it back in my garage.
If you could put together, I mean, stuff that people have asked you to do, and just to clarify those things, and maybe we can
Leave all mine out of there.
get to the bottom of whatever we feel like, I guess, would be in your job description, and we need to come to an understanding with you that you're comfortable with that too. So
Sounds
to
good.
continue in the job and happily. So
Sounds good.
all right.
Yeah, and know a year from now, you're gonna go look for something, and it's like, oh, I know, right where it was.
Oh yeah, do it in the garage.
No, at home.
Yeah,
The
do
fire
it in the garage.
Thanks, Brandon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on to non-compliance districts update. Susie's gonna come over, I think. in just a moment.
You going her way?
So, I kinda got a weird deal here with this stuff. I mean, I understand you guys are working towards it. At the same token, we're being told that, I mean, we're basically being told that we're mandated to dissolve after a certain point. Once you guys aren't in compliance with these reports. So, in the interest of the county, I don't see dissolving any district being beneficial for anybody. But at this juncture, I guess I don't know what you guys know as opposed to what the Department of Audit is telling you to do or telling us to do, or I guess we're in a difficult position, I guess. So, what do you guys know, I guess?
Well, first of all, I'll introduce Paul. Paul's been here for 49 days now. 50th day. So 50 days.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and I will let you know that the previous CFO that we hired, we spent some months thinking she was turning our books all the way around. She switched them completely. We were having trouble with our reports being accurate from a minus and subtraction and addition. So I had to go looking for a different CFO. I'll just put it that way. So when I did that, I really looked for somebody with a lot of background. So he may tell you a little bit about his background too, but I wanted to make sure I got the right person for the job this time. And so I'd like Paul to be able to introduce himself to you and tell you what we've been doing the last 50 days so that you can see where we're at relative to the audit. Okay?
Is that okay? I can introduce myself. Thank you so much for letting me speak to you today. Paul Mayolano. I come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have an extensive background in finance and economics and healthcare. I worked in private equity and investment banking, so I'm like the finance whiz kid, I guess. I have 2 master's degrees, one from Georgetown University and one from Rutgers University, an MBA and an MSBA. Been around this my entire adult life. Prior to me being in finance, I was a machine gunner in the infantry, airborne infantry. So, so I've no quit in me. I came aboard 50 days ago. Like Kathy said, there was a lot of cleanup to be done, and in those 50 days, we've actually rectified 18 months worth of books. So we are right now 2 days away from submitting our audit. Outside of our control, it takes 8 weeks to get the audit done. Once we submit, we expect the first time to go across the board. We self-audited already. So now it's just a matter of submitting to the third party, getting their bless off and their write-up, and then we submit that to the state. That should happen no later than March 7th, first week of March. So that's where we're at on the audit piece.
And this is the 2024
Sorry,
year
2024
budget.
2025. And I think the important thing to know too is that it's been in the paper because I tried to put something out there, but we had irregularities in the audit report and we did not want to turn it in like that. We have now gone as far as to say, I'm sorry, but I have to say that the books at the hospital, from when I've been there, a year and a half, almost 2 years, and maybe I have been there a year and a half, yeah. So the books are the strangest thing I've ever seen. So, and this has been the hardest job I've ever had, to be quite honest with you. And the truth is that we wanted to make sure that we sent in something that was true versus something that was manufactured. And what happened is the DZA, the accounting firm that we use, I'm not real happy with them for this, but the accounting firm we used did not tell me that they were having problems with the CFO on the information. So she just kept telling me and the board all the time that we were waiting on DZA to finish the audit. What in fact was true is that she was giving them information that was not usable information. And so I've let them know, and they agreed, they apologized. It's like, you guys should have let me know that she was giving you information that wasn't workable information. So I take some egg on that because, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to call me if there's a problem. So in the interest of having a good report, in the interest of making sure the audit is correct, we are taking it on the chin a little bit to be able to get that done the right way. We have had our attorney call the Attorney General. She's also talked with you, correct? And I probably going to talk to JD even, because I think the statute was written a little bit outside of what the scope really should be for a community, a district hospital type of piece from a statute standpoint, but that's legislative stuff. And the second part of that is that we are doing fine financially, but it's tight because we're not getting our mill levy. We've got some stuff that we have consequences with Medicaid and that because of these situations, which is why we've worked all kinds of hours to get the books done right. So I want to reassure you that we've gotten more done with his 50 days here than I got done the whole time I had the other CFO. So I'd like to give you an earlier date because it would make me sleep better at night, but we're really talking about the first week of March that we think that's what the auditors are mandating to us, is that they can't get it done any faster than 8 weeks with clean stuff.
Now, there's a glimmer of hope that it's so clean and we have all the provenance that goes along with every number that they may kind of get through it a little quicker. We can't hang our hat on that, so that's why we're saying the first week of March. But I will tell you, on a go-forward basis, this will never happen again. The books are already cleaned up, everything's fixed, processes are in place, the right people are behind the numbers at this point. Feel really confident about going forward. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with this is, aside from an attorney, you want your finance guy to be very honest, right? And so there was a big issue with that in the history of kind of the position, right? And so I'm stepping into this 50 days ago, hitting the ground running, trying to get it done as quickly as possible. To do it in 18 months worth of financials, as bad as they were in 50 days, is kind of remarkable. I mean, you don't really see that outside of big Deloitte or KPMG or EY or something. So.
And I think another complication is when I first got there, we didn't have a CFO or an accountant really or anything. So we've been trying to go through a process. A little hospital with the regulations that we have, they've got to have a CFO and they've got to have somebody that's a solid accounting background so that you can actually have books you can rely on and that they have fiduciary responsibility for doing correctly. So
anything I submit will have my name on it alongside Kathy's, exposing me to any liability just like Kathy. We have a great working relationship, as you probably saw while we're up here, but it's a situation where this is a very unfortunate event. Should never have happened, but it did. But going forward, this will never happen again. There's already stuff in place, processes, procedures, reporting timelines and guidelines that will always be hit. It's just a matter of professional course of action.
I don't know how they're gonna ask you to do that, but that's why I wanted to talk to JD too. But I just can't see how you would want to have a community not have a hospital in it. It's not like we're not making money, because we are. We're actually doing better because we've changed our revenue cycle management completely too, entirely. So we are getting money in better than we have probably for years here. So, I mean, we're in progress, but yes, ma'am.
We have to wait for him.
Go ahead.
But thank you. You understand this is what comes down to us. We're not making a decision for you. We're making a decision that is mandated by the Department of Audit. So while I appreciate everything you've done, and there's absolutely nothing, we've already discussed that the last thing in the world we want is the hospital to shut down too. But you can't put us in a predicament either of extending something that we're not probably allowed to do. So if it comes down to brass tacks, we're going to do what the Department of Audit says, even regardless. And so it's not always necessarily fair. We might not have an issue here. I'm not sure how the whole thing works, but we've had other districts and stuff, and they push the envelope, and then pretty soon they come through, and it works out okay. That's not our purpose, and it never was our purpose. And if it ever came, I mean, I watch your videos. The commissioners got blamed for something that we get laid on our table, and come to us like you just did.